This is Caffeine and Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny.
And we have a special guest with us today. Steven, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Steven Simmons. I'm a technical service manager here at Mingledorf's. I am in the Southwest District.
Okay, so for those of our listeners who don't know our districts, what does that mean to be in the Southwest District?
That means Central Alabama, all the way across, just about 30 minutes from Mississippi, and roughly from LaGrange over to 75, all the way down to Valdosta.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. That's actually a really good description. Thank you for that. I feel like sometimes I need to remind myself of that. I can't keep up with our districts.
Getting bigger and bigger.
All right, so as you can tell, we're a little dressed up for Halloween. Do you have any questions about what we are? Or?
Please ask us.
I just don't understand. What are
I'm
you?
I'm an HVAC technician.
Okay, look, she's an HVAC technician, and I am the new mildly flammable R54B.
Yeah.
454B, rather.
So, Steven,
I like it.
no pressure, but if you don't know this, our most popular episode has been our HVAC horror stories episode from last year. And so we wanted to bring you on so you could tell us your HVAC horror story.
Yes. We know you were previously in the field, so do you have any wacky stories? Any, like, scary, paranormal, or maybe not even paranormal, maybe like real life scary things that happened while you were in the field?
I got a couple. One of the companies I worked for, we serviced a funeral home, and under this funeral home, it was a tunnel that was dug out from the scudder hole. So the house looked flush with the ground. Back in the day, they used to build houses on just like a small brick foundation, just 6 inches tall. And the install company who had put the unit in dug under the house and dug a full V tunnel or a U tunnel all the way under the house and excavated all this dirt. So when you got under the house, it opened up. After you went through this little tunnel under the house, it opened up into this big room, and it was pitch black dark, and that's where the air handler was. And I drew a short straw and had to go service this unit and clean it. And when I got under there, the further you go away from the scudder hole, the darker it gets. And this is the time of flip phones, so I didn't have a smartphone or nothing like that, so I had my flashlight, and I had old batteries, so when I opened my flashlight, tried to twist it on, it was just flickering. And in South Georgia, we have these crickets. Some people, or not crickets, grasshoppers. They look like spiders. If y'all seen those, the spider grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I turned the light on and I shined it around, I hit a couple of them that were on top of the unit, and they projected onto the back wall. Huge looking spiders. And I got scared and jumped and dropped my flashlight.
Oh my
And
God.
when I dropped my flashlight, I couldn't find it because it was dark. And I had my flip phone open, trying to look around my flip phone and couldn't find it. And I didn't know that this was like part of a gig. But someone upstairs, later I found out who it was a coworker, screamed and then stomped on the floor. And that was enough for me. I almost mentally broke down. It was rough.
Okay.
Under the funeral home.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
funeral home, so were you scared that it was haunted?
Oh, definitely. I was freaking out. I come out from under. I cut the back of my head because I come out from under the scudder hole and just dove out and hit right there, and scratched my neck up.
Okay,
And then,
so was this like a hazing thing that your
It
company
was.
did?
It was. I was very new to the company. I'd only been in the business about 2.5 years, and I had only been there about a month. But
Oh my gosh.
that one's nothing to the next one that I have. I had
Okay,
been
but
in
wait. I want to talk about
Sure.
one other part of the story. So,
Sure.
I don't even think I would have made it through the tunnel because it sounds to me like, I mean, how do you even know that the house isn't going to collapse on that tunnel? That you'd even
There's
make it?
pillars. There's pillars under there.
There was.
Yeah, the house
Okay.
was built in like the 1800s and was converted into a funeral
Yeah, if it's
home.
lasted that long, I think it'd be
I don't
fine.
know about that. I don't know about that. I would still be worried that that house
That's
still
why you're
lasts.
just refrigerant, That's why you're refrigerant. You're not the tech.
Yeah,
That's why my part of the costume is just the refrigerant.
I'm the brave HVAC tech that's willing to
I
go.
used to psych myself out. I'd get down on my hands on my knees. I'd look under the house. I'd huff. I'd say, if I can just get under this house and get out, I can go. If I can just get under there and get done, I can get out of here. I just have to psych myself out sometimes.
That's funny. All right, tell us your next story.
The next one's got a lot more details. I had been in the industry about 6 years, 5 years maybe. We got this call. Nothing. Going to the call, it was just a cold call. I had never been there before. Never been to this residence. Didn't know anything about it. We just got the call and they wanted us to come out and service all the systems on their house. A little sketchy because they didn't know how many they had. So that should have been like red flag number one. So it was on my schedule. So I started my day that morning at 7 o'clock and was hitting them hard. Hit the service calls, hit one cleaning, get to this house after lunch, 2 o'clock, it's just another day. I roll up, nothing out of the nothing out of the normal. Dirty yard, dirty house, some are clean, some's dirty, but I just remember going in, I was blind, and then the longer I was there, it got freakier and freakier. So I go in, they let me in, they said, all right, we want you to service all of our units. And I was like, all right, let's start on the bottom. How about that? Let's start right here. Where is this unit located? They didn't know anything, nothing. They showed me where the thermostat was. I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'm looking around, I can't find the air handler. I'm going to the house, I'm looking for the ductwork. Where does it go? I finally found it under a section under the house. That's important, a section. We'll get there later. So as I go in the house, I'm looking for the return filter so I can take it out and get it replaced. And then I realized that the carpet that I stood at when I came in, it stopped. And the carpet wasn't tore up or removed, it had been chewed up. And so then there's parts of the floor that's been chewed up. And I said, these people are watching TV, they're watching this flat screen TV up on the wall. And I was trying to get their attention. I was like, and when I did that, a seat cushion on the couch lifted up, and a dog come up out of the couch. They was living in the couch. It's this big, like Rottweiler looking dog,
Oh my God.
and I knew it was scary because the homeowner or the building, whatever, it was a house, residential house. They were very quick to try to get control of the dog, and then they took the dog to this room, shut the room. Okay, I saw them shut this door. Full face door, just a door. They shut that door, and I leave, go through the house, and I'm looking for filters. I couldn't have been in there like 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. I come back through, and the dog meets me. And I was trying to play nice, and I look over there, and I see that door. That dog had chewed like a half of an oval out of the bottom of the door. Had chewed it out.
Oh my God.
gosh.
So now it's got a dog door in the door. And this dog is just like destroying everything. And nobody cared. I mean, it's like he knocked over a lamp and busted this stuff. And they're just like nonchalant, just sweeping it up. So I was kind of getting a little, I don't know, hair on my neck was kind of standing up. So I go talk to them about repairs. And their units were 25-year-old train equipment. And they were out of gas. There was hardly any refrigerant in them. And I was talking to them about it, and they were like, all right, we're just going to fix them up. I was like, well, it's R22, yada, yada. It's going to be X amount of money. It was lots of money, a lot. Several hundreds. It's over $1,000. And they just pulled out this. I was like, you sure you want to do this? And then they pulled out this wad of $100 bills, just a whole band or more. And I was like, we are ready to pay whatever we need to. But we got other units we need you to service. I was like, all right. So I get going. I go upstairs, and every door upstairs is locked. All right. So I finally get upstairs, and my fellow service techs will relate with me on this. But when I get into the attic, I can see there's sprayed the white cellulose looking insulation everywhere. So I kick some away, and there's plywood. Real plywood, not OSB, but actual plywood. I got super tickled. Now I don't have to walk on the ceiling joist. It's gravy. So I walk a couple feet, kick it away. There's another sheet of plywood. I'm like 12 feet from the unit, and a sheet of plywood is 8 foot. So I continued all the way to the end of that second piece of plywood. So I'm only 4 feet. I'm arm's reach from the unit. And I kicked across, and there was a third sheet of plywood. I was super ecstatic. I get to stand on an actual platform to service this unit. I took that step and took the next step and fell through the ceiling.
Oh, man.
I knew that was coming.
But the second sheet was only 2 foot. They didn't put the whole 8 foot. And I stepped through the ceiling all the way up to my stomach. threw me off my game. First and
So your
only
legs are,
ceiling
like,
knocked on wood.
dangling?
Oh, just 1 foot. My chest and my stomach caught the ceiling joist. And so, as soon as my stomach hit, it took my breath away. So it was like a,
Yeah.
and this lady screamed because the ceiling a big old hole come down on her bed, and she was on the bed.
Oh.
And so she screamed and I screamed because it hurt my stomach, and I finally got up, and so I wanted to take pictures of the damage because for liability and make sure, you say you did X and then they'll say you did X, Y,
Right.
Z. You got to take pictures of the damage. They would not let me into the room. They would not. I had to pass my phone to the lady, and she took the picture. I was like, well, look, I didn't see the room because I knocked a hole in the ceiling, She was dressed, nothing crazy like that. But so I'm off my game. I'm aggravated. They're offering to pay for everything. They just want these units to run. I was like, well, look, it's got a hole in it, somewhere. And they was like, all right, well, look, you need to be gone in 30 minutes. I was like, all right. So I'm there. I've found 4 units. And so usually take about an hour per unit. 45 minutes to an hour per unit, for cleaning and servicing. And I've only been there like an hour and a half, and they're telling me I got 30 minutes and I got to leave. So I was like, all right, I'll try to do the best I can. So I'm out there looking for the 4th condenser unit. I have walked around this whole house, and so I see a scudder hole that goes under a second part of the house. I open it up, and I'm here to tell you, when I open it up, there was 5 people there met me. And I freaked. I was like, oh, good girl. I said a bunch of things is what I said, actually, that I can't say. And that I was like, I didn't know if they were squatters,
Yeah.
drug users or what, and
Human trafficking.
took me back, freaked out, and they were like, come on under. And then I hesitated. I looked around. I was like, is there a condenser unit out here? Hey, is there anything you want under here? So I was like, well. So I went back to the truck, and I went back inside. Then I went inside, and I was like, hey, do y'all know these people in your house? I was like, yeah, don't pay no attention. Just tell them to get out of the way. So then I was,
Bizarre.
oh, yeah. What's that?
I said, that's bizarre.
So I go under there. They got a little cave under there, like a man cave looking deal. They got a couch. This is under the house, by the way. There's a condenser under there.
Was it hot up under there?
I mean, it's 70,
Okay.
mid-70s. It's in the shade. So there's an actual condenser unit under there, and I tried to explain to you, you don't need a unit under here like that. And I serviced it whatever, they were wanting to pay top dollar for everything. So I was getting ready to leave, and I was going to just clean it real quick. And so I just remember when I pulled the power to it, I could still hear something under there running.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what the heck is this? So I go looking around. I got my light and I go in there. It's a refrigeration unit. It's a refrigeration. So this is a cooler condenser skid under this house, which means they've got a cooler, like a commercial grade walk-in cooler somewhere in this house.
This story just keeps getting stranger and stranger.
Yeah, I'm actually concerned.
Wait for
right
the
now.
dessert. So I see this unit and I was like, well, technically technically it ain't heating and air, that's refrigeration. So I ain't touching it. At this point, I was like, I ain't touching that. I ain't touching it. I'm already freaked out. So I go back around there. When I turn the house, this Ford Taurus pulls in the driveway. It is shot to pieces with bullet holes. Shot to pieces.
Oh my God.
4 flat tires. I'm not making this stuff up.
Is this
It
Silent
is
Hill?
on the rim. You can look down the road
We're gonna make
and
a
you can
short
see
film
where the
on this
rims have
podcast
dug into
episode.
the. What is it?
I said we're gonna make a short film on this podcast episode at the end of this.
Well, when you look down the road, you can see the cuts in the asphalt where this car has been driving on all 4 rims. They pull in the driveway. They pull on up beside my van. You know, my face, I'm just like looking at them. I'm thinking, am I going to get shot? You know? So I tried not to make eye contact. They get out the car like it's just la da 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 da. Just shut the door. I mean, it probably had 100 bullet holes or more. I mean, the whole car, the hood, the motor was smoking. The doors was, all the windows were busted out. Holes, front door, back door, trunk. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm finishing the invoice, and the bill's like over $3,000. You know, $3,000. And I go up there and they're paying me, and so they's like, "Can you come in and we got pictures we're gonna try to give you of the damages." So I can't. I stepped in. They actually let me take pictures this time, and I'm getting ready to leave. I got over $3,000 in just cash money, and I'm freaking out because I like to get a check.
Yeah.
Because I can put that somewhere. And when I come outside, the guy that was driving the car, Progressive has already got there. The Progressive car is there, and he's just like, it's like a cartoon. He's scratching his head. I can see him just scratching his head. He's got his hands on his hips, and I just remember him being like, "What the heck happened?" And the driver of the car was just like, "I don't even remember, man. I don't even remember. But we got insurance, right?" And he's just like, "We got to look at the policy." And I just remember the guy hitting the car like, "I got insurance, and it's covered." I could not get away fast. When I left, I was just thinking, what in the crap was going on at that house?
Yeah,
And
seriously.
I don't know how long they lived there, but I never drove down that street just in fear that they would remember me, and I saw too much. But I've always wondered, where was the refrigeration unit? Because I went through the whole house. What was in the cooler? You
Oh
know?
my gosh, I need closure on this story.
It's probably bodies
Wow.
in the cooler.
I ain't going back.
He said I ain't going back.
Bodies of previous HVAC technicians.
I was the HVAC tech that got away.
Yep, you were.
They had plumbers and electricians in there.
They had
Roofers
plumbers and
everything.
electricians in there. That's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
That's
I need
great.
to know. We need to do some Googling on that address or something and figure out if they ever ended up on the news or something. So we can figure out what actually was going on at the house.
You do that, and you let me know.
He said you do that and let me know.
Okay, we will. Send me
That
the
was enough
address.
freaky for me. That was enough freaky for me.
Okay, that is crazy. You know what's so wild to me though? Like, why did they? I mean, how did they? I just don't understand why people would call you out there, and then like they have all these secrets to hide, and they don't want you to know about it. But you know what I mean? Like that's a job where somebody's got to come in and go around
Yep.
your house.
Well, when I got there, none of the ACs worked. Every one of them was out of refrigerant. All 4 of them were out of refrigerant. So it was a total. I think each one of them probably held, 5 or 6 pounds.
Wow.
So you're looking at over probably close to a drum and.
What I don't understand is, if they had so much money, why wouldn't they just get you new units?
Yeah.
I didn't ever question it, girls. Never.
Maybe they just didn't want somebody there for that long.
I couldn't get away. They wanted them units cooling right immediately.
Oh.
Immediately.
Oh, okay.
They needed
they
that.
none of them work. None
They
of them
needed
work.
that walk-in cooler to be cool in them bodies before it started smelling.
Right.
Just kidding.
I think that's true. Well,
Anyways, that's probably my spookiest, freaky story. But everybody's got those weird stories where you almost fall off a building and things like that. But
no, I like your story better.
I know the car with 100 bullet holes in it, and he's like, "I got insurance, it's covered." Won't tell anybody what happened.
yeah, he was not coming off. He's just like, I don't understand what happened. And that boy was just like, I don't remember. So then I didn't know to believe. Was he telling the truth? Did he really not know? Was
Probably
he,
not.
or was he lying?
He said, "I plead the fifth."
That's
Well,
wild.
that's my big story. I've held that 9 years, I believe now. So, or
Okay.
maybe 10.
All right.
Well, thank you for coming on with us.
You're welcome.
All right, now it's time for our next guest, Steven LoCicero. He's been on with us for a few other podcast episodes, but he'll be joining us again.
This is Caffeine and Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny.
We have a special guest today with us. Again,
third time. This is Steven.
yeah. This is our favorite guest. Oh, wait, don't tell the others.
Hi, Steven. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to our Halloween episode of Caffeine and Coils. This is our favorite episode of the year to record.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Halloween, I am very curious on what we have going on here.
I'm an HVAC technician,
Okay.
obviously.
And I am the new refrigerant. My shirt says 454B.
So HVAC technician, the glasses are like heavily tinted. We have like a very like baseball outfield look going here. But I'm okay with it.
Listen, this is all we can afford. This is all that was
The
in
sun
budget.
is bright.
Okay?
These double as safety goggles.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Listen, we were gonna do a twist on this and have like it be funny and like blown up HVAC technician from our new mildly flammable.
Okay.
But for legal purposes, we decided it probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And that way you're mildly flammable.
Yes, I'm
refrigerant?
mildly flammable refrigerant.
Okay.
So Steven, tell us about what is your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy easily is Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh.
By far. I'm a chocolate person. So
Do
anything
you like the ones that are like pumpkins?
yeah, the pumpkin ones are good, but anything I have to refrigerate my chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So we get the Halloween candy back home.
Mm-hmm.
We dump it on the couch, organize it, and then all the chocolate goes in the
Check it for
refrigerator.
needles.
You know, I haven't run into that yet, but yeah,
Remember they used to scare us about that when we were
Absolutely.
kids?
Listen, that really did happen to me. That was a real thing back in the 90s. I bit into like an almond joy or something. There was a needle in it.
Oh
No
my
way.
god.
Yeah, I promise. I promise.
I remember as kids we used to get Halloween candy in like Ziploc bags sometimes. Like
Oh, yeah.
Or
Okay.
like popcorn.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
snacks or
some
something.
people actually still do that, and I get kind of weird about it because
Yeah.
I do check my son's candy too, but
Sure.
yeah, because you just never know.
Does
I mean,
he
I
have
don't
to
think they're
pay-
actually giving out drugs and stuff, but I think sometimes there's tampered with things.
Does Jensen have to pay the candy tax?
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Listen,
Yeah.
the best thing is though when they're like babies and they really can't eat the candy, and then you're like, all this candy's mine.
Yeah.
Like,
I I call it parent tax. My children do it every day.
Yeah. So how long do you let your kids keep their candy?
I found it more. It's easier just to let them consume it as fast as possible, as quick as possible. So like within a week, I just let them. They don't have to ask me. They can just eat as much as they want.
oh my gosh, that is so just like foreign
That's how
to
we
me.
were.
Because there's like a bowl that's on top of our refrigerator, and
Yeah.
I like replenish the bowl when it's not holidays or whatever. And that's like dessert or reward, like you had a good day at school or whatever. But all the Halloween candy goes into the bowl, and everybody can eat out of the bowl.
Okay.
So But it's not like a free for all. Like it's like a 1-2, like one
Yeah.
or two pieces here and there.
Up until about a couple years ago, I would be like, okay, a couple pieces a night, then you'd have it for a year.
Yeah.
You just throw away last
Yeah,
year's Halloween
yeah.
candy, or every like Easter or every holiday, you'd throw the old candy away and start over. And then, I don't know, I was talking to my dentist or talking to somebody, and they're like, just let them have it all right away. And they brush their teeth and they're over it.
Yeah.
That's
know?
actually a good viewpoint.
I've also heard from somewhere, I don't remember where, but it's almost like you're letting them decide, like you're giving them the autonomy to decide like when enough's enough and when it's not. And it's like not this like secret thing that can only be had every once in a while, so they won't get as excited about candy, because it's like I can have candy whenever I want.
Yep.
Then it's not as exciting when
I'm also
I get
super
it.
smart with my kids too. I'm like, they're like, oh, I don't feel good. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have had 10 bags of Sour Patch Kids.
yeah.
Like those are lessons you need to learn at that age.
That's funny.
So
Just make them
Consequences.
like get like a huge bellyache, and then they just
Yeah.
don't want it anymore.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if
That's
it's a good
funny.
theory. I'm probably a terrible parent, but
I mean, I feel like I tell people all the time, it just like depends on your kid and
Yeah.
what style of parenting works for you. So
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any wacky stories for us for being in the field? Because you used to be in the field.
Yep.
So tell us, like, what is the weirdest thing that you ever came across in the field?
I think my weirdest, most Halloween related story was I wasn't too far into the field, maybe a few years. I was going into a crawl space, which is just every HVAC's dream, HVAC tech's dream. And it was one of those, like, you had to put a Tyvek suit on once, like super damp and wet type
Ew.
crawl spaces, furnaces in the back corner. And I look over and no joke, it looked like a spider and it looked like a cricket all at the same time. And I didn't
Ew.
know.
How big was it?
Huh?
How big?
They were the size of like spiders, like I would say
Okay.
quarter size, and so I go outside. This is like Apple 4, like we're just breaking into technology. And I Google spider cricket, and legit, it's a real thing. It's called a spider cricket.
What?
Yes.
Do they
Heard of
like
that.
bite you?
No, they're harmless,
Okay.
but they're apparently evasive. But they also are in groups of like 20 and 30, all in a big like thing. So you look over and there's a whole bunch of eyes essentially staring at you in this dark crawl space. And then they're moving around a little bit. And I'm like, okay, like I can do bugs, but I was out in that moment until I figured out what it was. Like went outside and Googled it.
So
And
then
they
you
are
were
legit.
okay, and you were still. Just
I
the
was good.
thought of crawling through a crawl space with 30 spiders, like that's some Fear Factor stuff in my mind.
Yeah.
Like that is like you better be. I better be able to win money at the end of this, like a
Sure.
large sum of money at the end.
It was
And,
more
like,
just fear of the
what's
unknown,
your
right?
space in there? Like, is this like caving where you're squeezing?
This
through,
particular
or?
one, I'd say like like a desk. Like that's the height of a desk, maybe
Okay,
2-3
so, like-
feet. It wasn't terrible. I was on my hands and knees, but it wasn't
Ugh.
like anything terrible.
Yeah,
It was
but
more
you're not
terrifying.
moving quickly when
Yeah.
you're
No.
army crawling through.
Well,
like
when
a
you're army
thing.
crawling away from spider crickets, you do
Oh.
get out a little faster.
Why don't we put these things somewhere more accessible?
Because no one wants to see it, Deanna.
Spider, so putting spider crickets more accessible.
No,
What are
I'm
we
talking about like furnaces and stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
Like,
mean, the older houses, they
couldn't it
just
be-
end up in the crawl space.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because depending on the age of the house, not all of them were built. Like, not all of them had central heating and air, depending on how old it is.
Yeah.
Not
A lot
all
of
them were built
houses,
for it.
a lot of houses were built with just heat.
Yeah.
So you had central heat, then you had to add, coil and add the outdoor unit. So, but yeah, they're actually a lot of times they're not accessible. In Metro Atlanta, you're going to get newer construction and they're either in an attic or a basement, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You get in Atlanta and then you're in crawl spaces.
I mean, I have a crawl space, but it's like 5 feet
Yeah.
high. Like it's.
Oh, you
very
can, like,
easy.
walk
Yeah,
around
you can walk
and
around in it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So ours
mean,
is
I
like in
can,
this
but-
little. Ours is in the attic above the garage, so you can stand up and everything. It's super nice to change the filter because it's like I don't have to go up those attic stairs because
Yeah.
it's just like a little cubby hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's
One of our coworkers has a ranch, and she's a crawl, but it's completely concrete, and she put like an automotive creeper on the ground, so she just rolls to her
That's actually
furnace and
That's
changes.
funny.
genius.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
The reason I know that, I had to fix it one day. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's in the middle of the house," and so I get in there and there's a creeper. I'm like, "Sweet!" I just wheeled over to it,
That's funny.
That is
So,
smart.
That one, and then the only other crazy story I have is there's I told a couple stories about animals and flu vents the last time I was here. One time I went into a house and they're like, "There's a smell." And I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I'm gonna try and find the smell for them. They swear it's in the ductwork. So I'm in the attic poking around. It ends up being in their bath vent, and so I take the bath vent out of the attic, take it outside, shake it, and there's a bird's nest that comes out of it, like bird eggs, all kinds of stuff. And then you shake it, and there's a snake that comes out of it too.
Oh,
So
my
the
God.
snake.
Was the snake alive?
Oh yeah, it had consumed whatever was in that bath vent.
And it couldn't get back out.
And
could
then
it?
no, it was the bird was dead. Like there was a dead bird, so there was a smell.
Mhm.
And then, but yeah, and so that's the one thing I don't do. I can do bugs. Snakes are the one thing I can't do. So if I'm in a crawl space and there's a snake, like I'm definitely out. But yeah, so when you shake out a
How
bath vent,
high did you jump from fear of that
it was more or
snake?
less like how far backwards did I go?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, no, it was
I'd like to see the Ring camera footage of that.
Yeah. Thankfully, I was in somebody's like island already, so I just shook it out. I'm like, all right, I'm out. You know.
Oh wow.
But yeah, we
That's
just put that stuff in the back of our truck and then go to the dumpster and get rid of it. Well, I'm very glad that I shook it before
Yeah.
I put it in the back of my truck.
Man, birds are the worst. You talked about the bird being in the flu vent the last time you were here.
Yeah.
And not that long ago, we just had to put this cage like cover thing over our dryer vent
Mhm.
because my husband was traveling at the time, and I was like, I am hearing something. Like there is something walking around or something in our attic or something. And he was like, he kind of looked at me like I had three heads when he got home, and I told him, and he, and then I think we were like waking up the next morning or something. It was real early in the morning. And I was like, listen, I can hear it again. Listen, like go in there. And then it stopped and he couldn't hear it. And this went on for like 2 or 3 mornings. And then finally we figured out that there was a bird building a nest in our dryer exhaust and like the exhaust tube. So he had to go up there and like suck out the nest with the shop vac and cover it. And birds are relentless.
They are.
I did not know that.
So this particular one with the snake, this was 3rd floor. So
Oh my
it had
gosh.
scaled their house, and they didn't have a cover over their bath vent. It was a brick house.
Yeah.
And the snake scaled the house and went in there. So
That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
3 stories.
it was a lot.
Wow.
But spider crickets, that was the scariest one until I found out what they were.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on with us today. We have
course.
a fun game to play. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
You guys are going to play The Price is Fright. We're going to talk about the most popular Halloween decorations, and you're going to guess how much they cost.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the first one that I have is a 3-foot tall inflatable sandworm from the movie Beetlejuice.
Like, we're talking an actual movie set piece, or
No, just
okay,
like a
okay.
yard decoration.
$49.99.
3 foot tall, $26.99.
Did you cheat?
No.
Okay.
She did. She
You
just
literally just got it on the money.
Really?
Yes.
I was looking at them yesterday because I also had a list of them.
Oh, okay. So that one, okay, so Beetlejuice is coming out. The new Beetlejuice is coming out soon, and I am pumped about it. Are you
But I
excited?
didn't see that one, but a lot of the 3-foot stuff is like
Is that
$49.99.
that price point?
Have
Okay,
you
is-
went back and watched? Sorry, have you went back and watched like older '90s movies that they've remade? Like I just rewatched
No.
Twister.
Okay.
It was terrible.
I
mean,
really. Oh,
Well, I
mean, it was okay.
man.
I just
Man.
Bill Paxton's
Well,
pretty
that's
rough.
how I felt about
But
the
Twister
Santa
was
Claus,
okay.
actually.
About Santa Claus.
I used to love the movie The Santa Claus.
With
and I
Tim-
watched it as
Tim
an
Allen?
adult,
Yeah.
and I hated
The
it.
Tim Allen one's okay.
I
My kids
thought
watch it.
that's
How can you
I mean, that's
not like that movie? No.
The kid is so rude. The kid is horrible.
I mean, I feel that in my soul as someone who has
Yeah,
a kid.
was the most annoying person on the movie.
Okay, so this one's really popular. I actually just purchased one of these for myself. A 12-foot skeleton. The 12-foot big skeleton that's super tall. What is your guess on that?
So let me remember the rules. If you go over, you're out, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let Deanna go first.
300.
Okay.
$1.
$1,
Oh
he
my
says.
god.
Well, you would win that one because it's $2.99.
Oh,
Nice.
I should have done the $99.99.
You still would have been over though because it was $200 even. There was no cents. $2.99, no cents.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is what I want. This is my next purchase before Halloween gets here because we decorate our garage. So we turn YouTube on with the garage and we have this like light that goes to the music, and then we put crime scene tape all over the opening. I need a fog machine. So for a 1,000 watt Halloween themed fog machine from Home Depot, how much does it cost?
$49.99.
I'm gonna go higher. $79.99.
Actual retail price, $79.98.
Oh no! Come on.
So Deanna got that one because you
1
missed about a
cent.
penny.
Yes.
1 cent.
Okay. All right. I'm sure you've seen these. These are really popular in my neighborhood. The witch that's like either crashing into the window or crashing into the tree or whatever. It's like the crashed witch.
Okay.
How much do you think those cost?
I'm gonna go with $32.99.
Take the over. We'll go with $44.99.
Okay, you guys are extremely high. $17.99.
Okay. Well,
I think,
Okay,
I
this
think
economy.
Deanna, where is she 3-1 right now? I'm losing pretty
Inflation.
bad right now.
Okay, so the last but not least, the 12 like the witch's hats, you can get 12 of them that hang. They would,
Okay.
like hang from like the fishing wire or whatever. I really want to do those, but yeah.
are we doing Amazon or
Yeah,
Temu?
these are
or-
Amazon. These are Amazon. Amazon, Temu, they're like one and the same now.
Okay.
Like the pricing is the same because everyone discovered Temu. So,
I'm gonna say $20.
okay.
12 pink hats on Amazon.
They're-
$15.99.
No, they're just witch hats.
They're just witches' hats.
Yeah,
They're
witch hat.
black.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
$15.99.
$9.99.
Oh,
Both,
what a
you both
steal.
went over. All right. That's all I have. Do you want to do yours?
Yeah, let's do mine.
Yeah, let's do yours. So it sounds like you have some similar ones. I probably should have checked with you. Oops.
Actually, no, we didn't have any of the same.
Okay.
It's not opening up with Face ID because a 6-foot LED hanging spider.
I'm gonna go $34.99.
$1 seems to do well for me, so we're gonna go with $1.
$49.98.
Oh yes, that's actually a little bit more expensive than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, you guys are not gonna get this. It's a little cursed ruins, sort of like statue thing that you put in your house. It's 13 inches tall by 9 inches wide, and it has like lights and it smokes, and it has sounds. Like a little
Okay, where are we
haunted
shopping
house kind
from?
of thing. This is at Michael's.
Okay, I'm gonna say $34.99.
I was close. I was gonna go $39.99.
That would be reasonable, but it's not. It's actually it's $169.99.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, what is making it so
I
expensive?
don't know.
Michael's.
Who published that on their Instagram page as an influencer to make it so expensive? That's what I need to know.
I'm not
Dang.
sure.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Have you seen the plug-in nightlight that's like the two little ghosts on either side and there's a campfire and they're like roasting marshmallows? I don't know why I want that. I don't need a nightlight, but I really want it.
It is cute. All right, let's do one more. This is a 5.5 foot tall witch, just like a little
Is it
statue.
inflatable?
Not inflatable. It's sort of like like if you had a skeleton or
Okay, so it's kind of like a plasticky.
plasticky,
okay.
but it does stand up on its own.
Okay, I'm gonna go $49.99.
Okay.
By that response, it wasn't right.
$19.99 because
Well, you guys are living in the 90s. It's $62.99.
$62.99.
I'm terrible at
Oh
this
my
game. I think
gosh.
I've won one.
Don't shop at Michael's is kind of the point of
Oh
that.
my goodness gracious.
Oh, wait. Probably cut that out for legal reasons.
Well, I'll back you up and just say that I loved Michael's when I was a kid because I would go with my mom and that's where I would buy all the model cars. We would glue them
Yeah,
together,
okay.
paint them.
I mean,
custom
it's
paint
fine
them.
when they do 40% off everything,
Yeah.
but those prices were scary.
I'm more of like a Hobby Lobby girl, anyway. So
Hobby Lobby doesn't have Halloween decorations, I don't think.
no, they don't. I think it's against their
Yeah.
religion.
All right, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right. Well, that was time for me to go.